I meant to start the show with this, but then I saw something that was more pressing and more important than I got to. But why don't we talk about the NFL schedule release? Now, the NFL Social Media Film Festival, a.k.a. the official schedule release, happened right after I got off the air yesterday. And as always, it was strangely elaborate, and the production values were higher than ever before. Every single team was once again looking to one-up each other, just like they always do. Now, I'm not trying to be an old head about it either. It actually was pretty wild. It's pretty wild how creative these social media departments are now getting and how much time and effort and money is being dumped into these videos. Some of these videos are like full-scale Hollywood quality productions. In some cases, it's really, really impressive. However, there was one in particular that really stood out to me. One that stood out above all the rest. There was one social media post that I think was able to somehow upstage the entire barrage of schedule release videos. Now, I normally do not show up the day after the schedule gets released and then pick the most impressive piece of social media. Most people do that. I don't do that. I'm going to change up, though. I'm going to follow the mob. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to do exactly that right now. Most people do that. I don't do it. Today I'm doing that because it's hard to stand out in a crowd when everybody is trying to stand out. But credit where credit is due, because once again, one piece of social media from yesterday stood out from all of the rest. And here's the twist. It didn't actually come from any of the 32 teams. It came from the Shield itself. At NFL, kickoff 2026, a Super Bowl 60 rematch to start off the season. There you have it, people. Patriots v. Seahawks, opening night Wednesday, September 9th. Boom! Have some. Are you not entertained? Tell me how my ass tastes. Signed Roger Goodell. Raj was like, all these teams wasting all this time, wasting all this money, trying to get everybody's attention, trying to get everybody all fired up. And all I have to do is show up and slap Vrabel right down the table and walk away. You want to talk about a trump card. You want to talk about being all in.
All in.
The league account managed to upstage every single team's social media account and didn't even produce a video. They didn't even go with a graphic. They just threw down a Super Bowl rematch opener and were like, we're leading with Vrabel. Checkmate, game over, thanks for coming. My only single criticism of that piece of social media content, if I have one at all, is that the Shield did not slap Mike Vrabel's face front and center. Didn't slap his face on any of it, actually. For some reason, Christian Gonzalez's face is right where Vrabel's face should be. In fact, every face on this graphic should be Vrabel's face because that's what the league is really selling on opening night. And you got to hand it to them. They really do love attention. They really do love attention in absolutely any form. They love any kind of heat, no matter how hot. Nobody thinks all publicity is good publicity like the NFL. Oh, great. People like the Chargers video team once again got after it. Yeah, they vaguely mentioned the Vrabel-Rossini thing indirectly in passing, like, how scandalous. The Chargers put a sign in their video that said, next photo dump, 1 mile. And they also had a notification pop up saying, a New York Post sent you a message. No sound, just that. But that's all it was. That was the big controversial Chargers mention of the biggest scandal in sports. Like, we were all waiting on, what are the Chargers going to do? I mean, it was all right, but that was it. That was probably the league's reaction too. Like, that's all you got? That's all you got? You know my former best friend that's in the ground, David Stern? He used to do that when I interviewed him before he turned on me that one day. But we would do interviews, and why do you think we did interviews like that? He liked it. He liked the give and take. He would end interviews with me, literally. My former best friend, that guy on the ground, he would used to end interviews with me by saying, that all you got? Is that it? Are we done? Really? That's it? I'm like, yes, Commissioner, that's all I got. Sorry to let you down. The NFL probably looked at the Chargers' schedule release and said, that's it? That's all you got? I bet the Shield was let down that they didn't go harder than they did. Just an indirect reference? Without even naming Vrabel? The league had to be like, damn, why you got to be so vague? Why you got to beat around the bush? We just straight up gave you Vrabel on opening night. Nothing vague or indirect or beating around the bush about that. That is about as direct as it gets. In fact, you know what we just did? We just ripped Rome's adultery alarm and we rang it for the whole world.
My wife went through my phone.
Wow.
That's what the league did.
Consider that a divorce.
Oh, look at these people.
Trying to pull me out on a dance floor.
Y'all spent months
My wife went through my phone.
producing
Wow.
these
Consider that a
elaborate
divorce.
videos
Oh, look at these
when
people.
all we did was just ring Rome's
been on a boat
adultery
that's sinking?
alarm.
Trying to pull me out on a dance floor.
And you're all looking up at us.
My
The
wife
league is
went
like,
through my
oh,
phone.
wow, the Bears and
Consider that a
Rome
divorce.
Oh, look at
pulled
these
off a perfectly executed Bob Ross tribute.
Trying to pull me out on a dance
Damn, that dude's fro is straight up glorious.
My wife went through my phone.
But not as glorious as the adultery alarm.
Consider that a divorce.
Not as glorious
Oh, look at these people.
as Mike Vrabel on national TV right off the jump.
I fish on a boat.
Oh, the Titans. The Titans hit it out of the park with another man-on-the-street style video. Oh, the Titans went around Nashville finding some hilarious lookalikes. That's fun. That's fun. But not nearly as fun as us ringing Rome's adultery alarm.
My wife went through
There's
my phone.
fake Big Dom. That's kind of fun. Not as fun as the alarm. Not as fun as Vrabel on opening
Pull me
night.
out on a dance floor screwing.
There's fake Cam Scatterboo.
My wife went through my phone.
There's fake Derrick Henry.
Sex with me.
Consider that a divorce.
Oh, look at these people.
There's fake
Trying to
CJ
pull me out on
Stroud.
a dance floor.
Pretty fun, sort of.
My wife went through my phone.
Wow.
Sex with me.
Consider that a divorce.
Oh, look at these people.
Pretty funny. Anyway, oh, here's something. How about the Jags? The Jags trying to get us to care about, did Trevor Lawrence whack his lettuce? Did he get a haircut? I mean, like, who the hell cares? Vrabel and the Patriots are playing on opening night.
Wow.
For the record, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no, obviously. Trevor did not actually whack his lettuce, offer a schedule release video. At least I better hope not. At least he better hope not. Because if that is his real haircut, my guy, you went from having the best hair ever to the worst hair ever. That is the worst haircut ever if that's a real haircut. I mean, that's not Trevor Lawrence. That's like Carmela Soprano or some other middle-aged gal. It's perfect, right? If you're watching on the stream. Trevor or Carmela in her prime. That's not Trevor Lawrence. That's some other middle-aged lady. That's not just a wig. That's the ugliest, most off-putting wig I've ever seen. That's why I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Hey, Jags, guys. Anyway, why even go there when the league is giving us Vrabel? The league gives us Vrabel, and you give us the most hideous, fake haircut of all time. Come on, man. Look, everything is fake now. We know this. But I'm here to tell you that's really fake. How do I know? Because there's power in that lettuce. There's power in that lettuce. How do I know? I sat with Trevor on Radio Row. I could feel the power coming off that guy's lettuce. There is something in that lettuce. It's more than power. I don't even know what the word is. He's got it in that lettuce. At least the Raiders did something fun with Fernando Mendoza and Kirk Cousins. They went full Step Brothers. And they even perfectly recreated that Ionic photo pose with the Argyle sweater vest. Well done. There it is. Well done. Well done. The NFL's like, all right, tip of the hat. Tip of the hat. That's pretty good. But we didn't even give the Raiders any primetime games, let alone a primetime opening night where you can see Mike Vrabel coach the Patriots in a Super Bowl rematch. Really hard to beat that.
Trying to pull me out on the dance floor.
Once the league threw that card, it was a wrap. It didn't matter what anybody did after that. How much do you want to bet that Roger Goodell called up Bob Kraft and was like, listen, we want to showcase you guys on opening night with an epic Super Bowl rematch, but you have to promise me one thing: you will not fire Vrabel. Because if Vrabel does not make it to opening night, you're not on opening night. Guarantee us right now, Bob. Guarantee us right now that Vrabel is on the sideline, and we will guarantee you opening night. Good? Done deal. Raj was probably like, we want to give you this game, but we don't want to just sell a Super Bowl rematch. We need Vrabel to make this a real event. Seriously. Has a Super Bowl rematch ever meant less? This Super Bowl rematch has nothing to do with a Super Bowl rematch and everything to do with the public fascination with the Patriots head coach, his personal life, and where his career goes from here. That's what that's about. Just imagine this Super Bowl rematch ends up being a Super Bowl replay, and the Patriots get their heads caved in again. Man, imagine if Vrabel gets blown out on opening night after the offseason from hell. Imagine how insane the narratives and the overreaction and the lava pigs and the pearl clutching and the histrionics and the hysterics are all going to be if that's how it goes down on opening night. Imagine all that. Oh, you know who already did imagine all that? The Shield. The Shield. Obviously, that's why they gave us that game. That's why they knew they could upstage the entire schedule release yesterday with one simple post, with one simple graphic. That's why they said before it all dropped, hey, we don't care what you do. All you teams can do whatever you want. We're not telling teams that they can't post about that. Do what you want to do. Because they knew. They knew they had the alarm. They knew they had the ultimate trump card in the adultery alarm. That's why they didn't give a damn what anybody did with their video drops.
My wife went through my phone.
They knew they would upstage the entire thing by giving us Vrabel as soon as they possibly could. Sorry to the 32 teams. Sorry to the 32 production budgets. Sorry to the social media teams that have spent countless months getting ready for their big night, for their own Super Bowl. The Shield just owned all your asses yesterday.
Trying to pull me out on the dance floor, screwing.
All that for nothing.
My wife went through my phone.
Sex with me.
Consider that a divorce.
I guess that answers how comfortable the league is with the whole Vrabel-Rossini situation. Very, very comfortable.
Sex with me.
Consider that a divorce.
Oh, look at these two.
Do they like it? No, of course not. They freaking love it. They're leaning into it. They're embracing it.
Sex with me.
They're putting it in your face. They're opening the season with it on Wednesday night, opening night. How do they feel about it? They think it's the best thing that ever happened.
Pull me out on the dance floor, screwing around.
Come on. That's my take on the schedule release.
Come on.